Hey YouTubers, Jose Fantasiville here. I'm in Castroville, Texas. It's on US Highway 90 West. So it's a couple miles, about 20 minutes from the San Antonio area. This is in Medina County. I'm outside St. Louis Catholic Church. I'll go inside. Castroville is a very old town. It's been around since 1844. And you got the Six Flags of Texas here at one point, and then they have some other flags. This is Louis Ferdinand Hooft Jr., born in Euphratestadt, Brighton. Louis Hooft Jr. first met Henry Castro in Paris in 1842 and became an important figure in the establishment of Castro's colony in Texas. Hooft's father, Louis, provided much of the funding for immigrant supplies and travel. The Hoofts were also involved in enlistment of colonists. As Director General of the new colony, Louis Jr. sailed from Antwerp on 3rd Castro ship, the Jean Key, that arrived at Port Lavaca on January 9, 1844, and were met by the immigrants who had sailed earlier. Using personal funds, Hooft arranged for transportation of the colonists to their destination near San Antonio. Shortly after the colony was established at Castroville, Castro returned to Europe, and Hooft remained in charge of the colony. In this position, he led a group of then families in 1846 to establish a second colony, this one at Quay. In addition to Outwig Gristmill, a brewery, and being part owner of a store, Hooft also served as Justice of the Peace, County Tax Collector, and County Clerk of Medina County. In 1846, he married Rosalie Rien, and they had 2 sons. After the death of Rosalie and one of the sons in 1849, Louis then married Sophie Louise Cohen. In 1851, they had 4 children. In 1863, Hooft and his family moved to San Antonio, where he operated a successful hardware and seed business. Hooft died in 1890 at 77 years old. His contribution to establishing the first colonies was west of San Antonio was second only to that of Henry Castro, Medina County Historical Commission. So the impresario, Mr. Castro there, he helped settle this area of Texas in Medina County. And the town is in so honor of him, Mr. Castro, so Castroville. I'll read all these historical markers before I go into the Catholic Church here. General Wool and the Chihuahua Road. In 1846, General John Ellis Wool amassed an army of 3,400 troops in San Antonio to invade Chihuahua, Mexico. Departing from Camp Crockett, crossing the Medina River and passing through Castroville and Quay, Wool's plans changed after receiving orders to support General Zachary Taylor's forces in Saltillo, Mexico. General Wool's original path to Chihuahua mirrored Mexican General Adrian Wall's 1842 retreat to Mexico. Most of the route became the Chihuahua Road. Commercial trade in Castroville increased due to the town's central location along the route, and remained a major thoroughfare for westward travel because of its plentiful water for horses and mules. "12 o'clock on a Saturday, 90 degrees here, first weekend of October. I'll go to church shortly. So this area of Texas, as the church bells toll, was helped settled by Alsatians of Texas, and Alsace, A-L-S-A-C-E. In 1842, Empresario Henry Castro brought his first colonists to Texas, settled west of the Medina River. Most of the immigrants were from the Rhine River area of Europe. Many claimed the province of Alsace on the border of France and Germany as their homeland. The Alsatian colonists brought with them their combined French and German heritage, which has left a distinctive mark on this area of the state. In 1844, Castro laid out a town site which the settlers chose to name Castroville. It became the center of the Alsatian culture in Texas. The houses, European in style, are primary single-story dwellings of cut limestone, mortared with adobe, and whitewashed over the years. Farming has been the major occupation of people in the area, as it was in Alsace. The Alsatian immigrants and their descendants have made a distinct impression on area politics, holiday customs, cuisine, and religion. Winemaking using grapes grown along the Medina River is another early tradition that has continued over the years. The history of Alsatians in Texas is a reflection of ethnic culture diversity in the state of Texas' rich heritage. So there's a lot of historical markers here. You just heard the bells ringing. As I drove by here, there's an older building behind the church. It looks like it was set up as a convent because there's a grotto back there, but it's I don't think I have access to that. It's over here on that side. So I'm walking towards the St. Louis Catholic Church. This is on Paris Street here. Is that one street corner. Read another historical marker. St. Louis Day. Since as early as 1847, residents of Castroville have conducted a community holiday on or about the 25th of August, the Catholic observance of the Feast of St. Louis. A local tradition recalls that early processions escorted clergy from the priest's house and adjacent to St. Louis Church. With the clanging of anvils and the blare of the community band, through the years, a picnic became traditional on church grounds following high mass before the festivities. Men smoked sausage and pit barbecued. Women prepared potato salad, cabbage slaw, and desserts. An evening dance, a local standards into the day-long celebration. St. Louis Society, founded in 1875, traditionally organized the event since 1889. The celebration has raised funds for the benefit of the parish church and school. After the 1920s, the picnic and dance were held at Warren's Garden at site 4 blocks northwest. Was donated to the parish, renamed Cohen Park in 1949. The dance pavilion there was erected in 1953. The celebration now held annually on Sunday near August 25th. The procession begins at the church after mass and winds through the city to Cohen Park for the picnic, lunch, and evening dance. We're going to go in there. There's St. Louis. I walk around the church after I go inside. Hic est Domus Dei, AD 1864. Looks like 4 might have fallen off. We'll see here on the historical marker. St. Louis Catholic Church, planned according to tradition by the Reverend Peter Richard, pastor who came from Loire, France, 1868. First, 1847, 1851, resident pastor. The Most Reverend Claude Dubois returned as a bishop of Texas to lay cornerstone on July 2nd, 1868. Locally quarried limestone and labor of the men of the parish went into the construction. First mass was celebrated in this church by Father Richard on August 25th, 1870, feast day of St. Louis, patron of the parish. So this is 68. We'll go inside. Thanks for coming by or visiting with me on this tour. I should take my cachucha off. Let you guys see the beauty of this old church. Stained glass. You guys just see that? I'm not gonna walk on the altar. There's Joseph and Jesus, Mary. In memory of beloved pastor, the very Reverend Peter Richard Cannon DSA, first of the period of Sisters of Divine Providence, rector of St. Louis Church, born in Laurier, France, April 1954, and ordained priest May 3rd, 1863, and the order was appointed rector of St. Louis Church, 1868, back December 1880. The church and covenant buildings speak plainly of his praise, his energy, flame, his zeal, and brought forward the works our eyes to see. Rest in peace. I mean, look at one of these. They all have what it is. This one says Our Lady of Lourdes, of Lourdes, Sacred Heart of Jesus. So they all have something underneath them. That's Blessed Virgin Mary and Saint Anne. St. John the Baptist. Very beautiful. They have mass on Saturday at 5:30. It's still a very active church. Just going out. And I'll go walk around backside so you can see the construction. There's another marker in here. Reverend Matthew Chazelle, second missionary priest of Castroville, died 26 years old, 1847. It's like the confessional area there. Very beautiful church, built in 1868. Beautiful altar and stuff. Do a walk around of it. So across the street on that side of the church is the convent set up for the sisters. And they got some of the old buildings across the street, and this town actually has a lot of old buildings from the 1840s, 1850s still standing. This is Marion Prayer Guardian. That side of the church. And I got here right when I started the video. You guys are able to hear the church bells because it was 12 o'clock. Look up to the top of the steeple there. Stained glass windows from the outside. I know I mentioned the word, and the historical marker mentioned Empresario Castro. I'll put on there in my description, and maybe when I mention it right after the historical marker, what Empresario means. Here's the back side of the church. There's the covenant set up, and then it's got newer amenities, of course, with ACs in there and electrical. The original building over there. Again, that's a gated area, locked up, so I can't go in there. And here's the other back side of the church. I'm gonna have another video. I'm gonna stop by their visitor center, because this town, even though it's small, it's got a lot of history, and they got about 40 buildings that you could visit, little homes that shine light on life here in the 1840s, 1850s west of San Antonio, Texas. Just like the historical marker says, one of the biggest communities that was on the west of San Antonio at that time. Just another view of the steeple from this side. Again, the stained glass on this side, Virgin Mary there. And then just did the whole walk around. You know, the church there. And I'm gonna head out. Like I said, my way out, I'll stop by the visitor center, the city's visitor center they have here in Castroville, named after Henry Castro. Again, guys, Jose Fantasticville here in Castroville, Texas, west of San Antonio, off of US Highway 90. You guys like this tour, this little walking tour of St. Louis Catholic Church? Go and like, share, subscribe. You guys have a good day. Adios on the first weekend of October. Take care.